welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday, and previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, James J., flying solo today. And of course, it was a good week for Wrestling With, as last Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday we had guests. Isaiah Cross on Monday, CJ Clarkson on Tuesday, and Ricky Roca on Wednesday. Three incredible interviews with three incredible talents. Definitely go check those out if you haven't already. But always looking to the future. This upcoming Tuesday we have J Biv, a part of the JROTC, JR Lindsay's faction up in Wrestle League, obviously a friend of the show. Us and J Biv, we talk his issues with his actual blood brother, Leo Black. Some turmoil in the JROTC. We talk about his goals and aspirations. Ace is on that list, claiming his first championship, maybe taking over the JROTC. Who knows? We don't know. He said he wasn't sure, but I think he kind of knows at this point. But definitely check that out on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday we have Matthew D. Luna. Down in Texas, we talk about his relationship and rivalry with Leslie Lorenzo. We talk being a 10-year veteran and only being in his early 20s. We talk about a recent match against Matt Mike Bennett, my bad, Mike Bennett. We talk about retiring a local legend. We talk about family. Family is very prevalent in his career. He tag teamed with his stepbrother for a number of years. Now he's teaming with his cousin. His mom frequents the shows. So yeah, family is a very important thing to Mr. De Luna. So, again, definitely check those out when they drop later this week. Um, Always looking towards the future. On the 9th, we have Leo Black. On the 10th, we have Elvis Andre. On the 17th, we have Kindle Fire. So check out our social medias to check out who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Obviously, on our YouTube page as well. Everything will be posted there. Alright, now that we're done putting ourselves over, never done, James, we are wrestling with WWE Saturday Night's main event. It took place last Saturday in Fort Wayne, Indiana, because when you think pro wrestling, you think Fort Wayne, Indiana. At the Allen Country War Memorial Coliseum, attendance was about 10,714. Honestly, this was one of the better Saturday night main events that we've had in recent memory. I mean, it's the only one we've had in quite some time, about 6 months or so. So, yeah, I didn't really have too many issues with this show, but we'll kind of talk about it. First matchup was Jade Cargill, Michigan, and B-Fab defeating Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss in 16 minutes 45 seconds. The longest match on the card. Think they could have dealt with maybe 6 minutes less and still had the same result. Um, that's one thing I'll say about this show. Like, none of our predictions kind of came true. Everything definitely was very unpredictable, I would say. Um, but yeah, Cargill got the pin on Rhea Ripley. Good, shock value for, their upcoming match. So, Jade has some heat going into the match. We got some issues and friction between Rhea and Charlotte. We'll kind of see how that plays out as time progresses. But yeah, I think this was this accomplished what it needed to do. Again, maybe a little bit too long, but other than that, no complaints. 3.5 stars, I'd say. The next match on the card was Sol Ruka defeating Becky Lynch by disqualification in 2 minutes 25 seconds. Uh, and this did not serve anybody well. Um, Becky did not. I feel like Becky didn't necessarily deliver her best performance. I feel like Sol looked a little weak in her performance. And then, obviously the botched soul snatcher. Um, it's just kind of all disappointing at this point. Um, feels like Soul is kind of crumbling under the pressure of the bright lights, honestly. Um, yeah, it seems like it, if you remember at the Olympics one of those years, Simone Biles, the twisties, and I feel like Soul kind of has the twisties. Like, I'd feel comfortable if she didn't do the Soul Snatcher just to kind of get her feet underneath her and kind of get her bearings, because it just seems like they thrusted her into a rivalry that, I'm sorry to say, she was not ready to be in by any means. Obviously, this was for a higher purpose. Obviously, it was to set up the Clash in Italy match. But I mean, even now, that seems kind of in question because Soul may be not medically cleared. That has yet to be seen, so we don't know at this point. But yeah, um, this was this was a segment that did not do anything for anybody. It honestly made things worse, I would say. My opinion. That being said, I would give this, and I mean, it's not even a match, so it's a segment that kind of went wrong. So it's 2 minutes 25 seconds. Um, 2 stars, and I'm being generous with that. All right. Then we have a Penta defeating Ethan Page in 14 minutes 25 seconds to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Quite honestly, the best match on this card. Ethan Page has so much heat, is so good in that ring, knows how to control a crowd, and he just put on a banger with Penta. Honestly, like, you didn't with Ethan, you could say it kind of could go either way. I would only give the edge to Penta because, he's on fire right now. He's riding momentum. He probably has the best, title run in WWE right now with the Intercontinental Championship. So, it's hard to take that momentum off of Penta for, a guy that's still kind of building his momentum. But I think that this, unlike the Sol Ruka match, this served Ethan Page so well. I wouldn't say, this was a chicken salads type scenario, but, he put so much more into that match, and he did so much, and there was so much gaga in a good way. Um, yeah, I just, for honestly, this served everybody. It gave Penta a viable and challenging, competitor, and it kind of solidified Ethan Page as a future star in the making, 100%. So, by all intents and purposes, this was a four-star match. Then we have Paige and Brie Bella defeating the irresistible forces. I was gonna say irresistible bowels. um, the irresistible bowels, Last Legend, and Nia Jax to retain the women's tag team championships in 8 minutes 25 seconds. Honestly, a bit of a surprise this match. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely thought Les and Nia was gonna win this one. I thought that they had the heat. I thought that they, you know, had what they needed to get the titles back. Obviously Paige and Brie had their little, run. They defended their championships, so now it's time to drop it. What, like a month after Mania? But no, they are still your tag team champions. Yeah, so that was definitely a shocker. Um, 3.5 stars. It was a 3-star match. The shock was 3.5. Then we have the Vision, Logan Paul and Austin Theory with Paul Heyman, defeating the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford, in 16 minutes 30 seconds to retain the World Tag Team Championships. Well, I mean, first and foremost, um, I wasn't really a big fan of the match. I kind of lost interest at this point, and it was just kind of gaga to not let the Street Profits win. It did kind of seem like a middle of the card Raw segment. Like, in all honesty, Penta and Ethan Page should have ended closed the show because they were the hottest thing on that show. By the time this rolled by, I wasn't like, my peak interest had peaked at that point. So, I mean, we had the Gaga, we had the interference. It was okay. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't. I would say that it served a good purpose, honestly. And I mean, it's even worse now because Logan Paul is injured. Will be out for around 6 months. So I mean, this this vision, like, how many, like, who needs to break their neck to just put this thing out of its misery already? Like, Seth gets injured, Braun gets injured, Bronson get injured. They bring in Austin Theory and Logan Paul. Logan Paul get injured. Like, the fuck? Like, seriously. Like, guys, what are we doing here? I honestly, I hate this. And this thing's on life support. Someone needs to cut the cord at this point. It needs to stop. In all honesty, I feel like, for Logan in particular, this is, a blessing in disguise, in all honesty. Because his character was going nowhere real fast in the Vision. Like he was relegated to, little buddy in the Vision. When in all honesty, Logan Paul needs to be in the title picture. I mean, that's not something people want to hear. I get it. We don't like Logan Paul. I don't like Logan Paul. But you're not utilizing him properly. Like, put a belt on this guy. And I mean, a singles championship. You're just coasting with him at this point. So I do hope when he does come back, it's not a part of the Vision. It's in a more main event role where he is, the focus of the group or the focus of the rivalry rather than whatever the hell he was doing here. So, I mean, that's my hope at the end of the day, but, that has yet to be seen. Either way, the tag team match, pretty predictable, 3 stars. Um, the show as a whole, I would say was pretty good. I'd say thumbs up, honestly. Um, I watch it again, and I definitely watch Penta and Ethan Page again. That match was a banger. So, yeah. So all positive, I say. Well, not all positive, like I said. Um, Logan Paul got injured. Um, but hey, maybe that is a positive for some people. That will conclude our coverage. And now, a quick word from our sponsors.
Hey, folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show. Support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.